It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. Kind of a cloudy, overcast Friday in Nashville, Tennessee. As you can tell, we are at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall, where later tonight, round 2 of the NFL draft will continue starting at 6 p.m. Round number 1 is over. There were winners and losers, and then there were those of us who hit it right on the button.
You're going to make me play the video, aren't you, George?
Well, yeah. You heard this here first. A Mid-South exclusive. Ty Simpson gets drafted tonight by the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really? George, where have you gotten your intel from?
Okay, first of all, the intel supposedly is that Sean McVay loves him.
Okay.
The other part of it is you got a really good quarterback, but he's getting older.
Yes.
Well, they also like Mekhi Lemon there because Devontae Adams' future.
Don't ruin my Mid-South exclusive.
No,
Don't
I'm gonna
you know, you had your
poo-poo
chance
on it a little bit.
Well, you poo-poo it all you want. You do that on your time. Yeah, do it on your time. My time is the right time. You had to absolutely die last night when the Rams picked him.
This is one of the cons of sports talk radio because when you have egg on your face, there's no running from it. You got to sit here and face the music. I was a big fan of Ty Simpson. I'm happy he got drafted where he did. I think it's the best situation for him. George, I am sorry. I texted you last night. You and Kelly both. I owe you an apology. You were right. I was wrong.
Did I ever love it when I saw it? The only thing that I was happier about last night was the Atlanta Hawks win over the Knicks.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's go Hawks.
That was an unbelievable ending.
It was wild. Anyway, as for the Titans, I'm like a lot of y'all. I'm confused. I don't totally get it. Doesn't mean that the 2 players they picked won't turn out really good. We don't know that yet. But who amongst us had that one figured out? The answer is nobody.
Jim Wyatt said one person in his 160-person survey got it right. You know who that was?
No, I don't.
Chris Johnson. That was it.
Chris Johnson, the former Titan running back. Good for him.
The only person. And I saw that ESPN had a 0.4% chance that Carnell Tate would end up at number 4. Nobody saw it coming.
It's a strange pick. There's no doubt about it. I'll tell you what it does do, and we're going to talk about it a lot later. Boy, it puts some pressure on him because when you pick him at number 4, he had damn well better be good. Otherwise,
when you take a guy that high, I told you I need 1,300 yards from him within the next 3 seasons at least. If you're going to be picked at number 4, you got to produce, and you got to be close to the upper echelon of the NFL. Or you know what? You have to be. There's no choice.
Yeah. Okay, let's run through the update, and then we'll kind of tell you what's going on an action-packed Friday on this show. You don't want to leave us.
So that's where we'll start. Jeremiah Love was drafted number 3 by the Arizona Cardinals. The smoke was real. They had interests. They loved him so much, they drafted him, pun intended. So that left the Titans at number 4. Sonny Styles was on the board. Arvell Reese was on the board. They didn't go either. They went offense to help their young quarterback, and they got Carnell Tate, the receiver from Ohio State. To make things more interesting, they traded up late in the first round to get Auburn edge rusher Keldric Faulk at number 31. They'd made a trade with the Buffalo Bills. The Bills received picks 35 in the second round, 66 in the third round, and 101 in the fourth round. So the Titans received 31, which they used to get Faulk. They'll get pick 69, so they swap thirds with the Bills. and they get a extra 5th-round pick, 165.
So all that bull that Chad Brinker threw us about stockpiling all those picks, that went poof.
Poof.
But let me say this. I have a lot more confidence in Mike Borganzi than I had in the previous regime. That said, I'm like a lot of y'all. These are weird picks. Faulk appears to have all the physical talent, but hadn't proven it on the field production-wise. Why you take that gamble there, I don't really know. Maybe they do.
I'm not going to spoil anything because we're going to play a little bit of the presser later. But this was clearly their guy. If they're going to trade back in the first round and give up their 2nd-round pick, this was clearly their guy. So the production is a problem. The physical traits are absolutely there. So I did hear how Saleh plans to deploy him, and I will say I like it. You guys will hear that later. Other draft headlines, yes, Ty Simpson was drafted last night. He was drafted number 13 to the LA Rams. I listened to a little bit of Sean McVay's presser afterwards. Very quick answers. He did not seem happy.
Which is interesting because the pre-draft stuff was he loves him.
Yeah.
Now, what does it mean for Matthew Stafford? It could mean that he's told the Rams, I got one more year. Might not. There's also a former Georgia quarterback in the middle of all this.
Stetson Bennett.
What does it mean for him?
Sean McVay said Ty will compete with Stetson for the backup job as Jimmy Garoppolo's future is up in the air as he's considering retirement.
Yeah.
So the other big story of the first round, this is, I don't think I've ever heard anything like this. Mekhi Lemon, the receiver from USC, was on the phone with Pittsburgh at number 20. They were going to select him. The Eagles traded ahead of the Steelers. They called him while he was on the phone with Pittsburgh and let him know, hey, we're going to pick you. They ended up stealing him from Pittsburgh, another pun intended, and now Mekhi Lemon is the newest Eagle.
I wonder if they said, by the way, our hockey team leads Pittsburgh's 3-0. Pass that on.
I'm sure
to
that
them.
had something to do with it.
Before you hang up, tell them we're a city of champions.
But George, what does this mean for old A.J. Brown?
Well, you know damn good and well what it means.
He's gone. He's gone.
I mean, look, connect the dots.
Right. So it was a very entertaining draft, to say the least. We have some news on the college basketball front. No surprise here. Darren Peterson has officially declared for the draft. Also, Nate Ament declared for the draft last night. So
we can kind of put that one to bed.
That's right. But good news for Tennessee basketball. They landed another player out of the transfer portal, forward Braden Liu from Kennesaw State, a 6'9" sophomore, averaged about 11 points per game last year, 5.3 rebounds, and a block and a half per game. He was Conference USA All-Defensive Team.
Okay.
Tony Basilio was not kidding, and they at least planned to add, I'd say, at least 3 more out of the portal. George, I was reading a little bit on the Sharon Moore situation because there was a really good story about it on ESPN. The young lady that Sharon Moore was in a relationship with made some comments on Good Morning America this morning, basically saying the U of M did not protect me enough from Sharon Moore.
Well, whether the word is protection or not, if you remember back when all that was going down, I ended up saying on the air that it was a well-known open secret around the Michigan athletic community that this was going on. And, you know, yeah, he's got a basketball national title, but this is on Ward Manuel. And I keep wondering, does Michigan just sit there and say, well, as long as he wins a national title here, we'll ignore over here? And the answer is that's what they're doing.
And this lady said it, too, in the story, that it was the worst kept secret. They had entered into a relationship, I guess, around the 22 season. They won the national championship in 23. She basically said they didn't care as long as they were winning. So Very unfortunate to see, of course.
Look, he got off very easy from the judge because, you look at the offenses, that a lot of people could end up in jail. And he's very fortunate he didn't.
18 months probation, and he doesn't get contact with his former girlfriend. That's it. For Sharon Moore. Tennessee and Alabama are in the middle of a doubleheader right now. They actually they're in game one. Last night, it was very, very bad pitching wise. Landon Mack and I believe it was Braden Arvinson. Lots of earned runs given up. Not a lot of strikeouts. Couple batters hit. It was not good, and Tennessee ultimately fell. I believe the final was 12-9 to Alabama.
So what's going on today?
So I don't know if it's due to weather or I have no idea. That would be my guess, but they're playing a doubleheader right now. I have not checked the latest score, but Vanderbilt and Texas. Oh, it's 4-0 Tennessee in the bottom of the sixth on the SEC Network Plus. Vanderbilt and Texas will kick off a series on West End at 6:00, and Texas is very good, so tall task for Vandy.
Yeah, they're considered one of the top 4 teams in the country. Vandy right now is in most everybody's first 4 out. So a bad weekend could hurt them. 2 out of 3 probably puts them barely in.
That's something I want to see what Mitch Light says is how confident is he that Vandy can get at least 2 out of 3? Because saying they're going to get a sweep over Texas is a long shot. But can you get 2 out of 3? I don't know. Hockey action last night. The Sabres took a 2-1 lead over the Bruins. They won game 3, 3-1. The Hurricanes are up 3-0 on the Ottawa Senators after they won last night 2-1. And the Avalanche up 3-0 on the Kings. They beat LA 4-2 yesterday.
Kings have played tough, but have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, first game was a 1-goal game, and then they went to overtime. It's 2 overtimes, right? The second game? Am I saying that right? For LA?
I don't remember.
In the NBA, the Hawks, winners over the New York Knicks, 109-108. Atlanta has a 2-1 lead, George. How about that? And they get another game at home.
Am I shocked? No, I'm not shocked. I've been saying it for a month that people need to pay attention. This is a good young basketball team that rid itself of Trae Young. They basically said to him, don't let the door hit you in the butt. And they had all this young talent emerging, and nobody wants to play them. I'm not saying they win the series against the Knicks, but they might. They might. And when they do, you're starting to get a little bit of belief in that city for a franchise that people really haven't paid a lot of attention to. Let's go Hawks.
They'll tip off at 5 against the Knicks tomorrow from Atlanta. New York's a 1.5-point favorite. That'll be on NBC and Peacock. And other NBA action, the Raptors won their first game of the series versus Cleveland last night, 126-104. Cleveland still has the 2-1 advantage there. And the Timberwolves took a 2-1 lead over the Nuggets, 113-96. I was surprised by that.
Well, they've come out and said Denver doesn't play any defense, and it looks like they're backing it up.
Yeah. 113 points given up by the Nuggets. Tonight, Celtics 76ers, Lakers Rockets, and the Spurs will take on the Trailblazers, their first game without Victor Wembanyama.
Up in the air, although it looks like he's not going to play, which makes you wonder, when he's not there, San Antonio's a totally different team.
Oh, yeah.
They no more are a 2 seed at that point than the man in the moon.
And this will be my last thing. Rounds 2 and 3 continue tonight of the NFL draft, starting at 6:00 on ESPN and ABC. Both Tennessee corners, Jermod McCoy and Colton Hood, fell out of the first round. And if you look at ESPN's best available, Jermod McCoy is number 1 and Colton Hood is number 8. I expect both to go early round 2 tonight.
Okay, after the break, you will hear part of the press conference involving the two newest Titans who stepped up to the podium a little more than an hour ago out at Titans Central. Stay tuned. Watson Brown will analyze around 3:40. Then we'll get Terry McCormick's report on what to expect next. And then Mitch Light from The Athletic talking NCAA baseball for this coming weekend. Stay tuned. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. Calls.com. Hit After Hit has become the baseball store in Tennessee. They have over 1,000 different models of gloves and over 1,500 wood bats. They also have several Iron Mike pitching machines as well as a Hit Tracks machine. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. We're proud to call Hit After Hit the official shirt provider of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
Yeah, we are standing. We are at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. The big screens will be really heavy later tonight because round 2 of the NFL draft starts at 6 p.m. They'll have all of that, the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. It's a big Friday night of sports. About an hour ago, a little more than an hour ago, Carnell Tate, Ohio State University, Keldric Faulk, University of Auburn, or Auburn University. They're the two newest Titans. They had these things to say at their press conference.
Welcome. Certainly an exciting day here. What's better than having one first-round pick than having two? We couldn't be more excited to welcome Carnell Tate and Keldric Faulk to the Titans organization. Just two obviously outstanding football players. They're even better human beings. They embody everything that we want in this organization. Their work ethic, resiliency, toughness, intelligence. They have it all. And that's why they're sitting up here today. So without further ado, we'll open it up to questions here.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, TD.
Going to start with Carnell. Since getting drafted, obviously it's been a busy whirlwind, but have you had a chance to do a little bit more homework to learn about the team that you're joining, and particularly the offense and the quarterback?
Yes, since being drafted, that's all I've been doing was just watching videos of all the guys here, a bunch of great group of guys that's here, great coaches, great players. So, yeah, all I've been doing was just getting familiar with the players and the coaches.
Teron Davenport, ESPN, for you, Coach Sala. Obviously, the measurables are all there with Keldric and what he brings to the table. How much are you banking on you and your coaching staff to be able to maximize the most out of him?
Well, it's going to be hard. Look at him. But no, we knock on wood, we've had a lot of history with guys with his skill set, from Eric Armstead, a gentleman who's here with us now with John Franklin Myers. We drafted Michael Williams a year ago. We know exactly what's going to be great with him, with his how to utilize his strengths, if you will. But sky's the limit for this young man. He's young. There's a lot of football that he's got to learn, but we're excited to have him.
McCormick, Main Street Media. Coach, this is also for you. Where do you see Keldric fitting in that front seven? How many different ways do you feel like you can use him?
Yeah, we're going to roll 8 or 9 on game day, and we roll them pretty good. We try to keep our guys around 60% play time at max, keep them fresh, keep them rolling. We see him outside on early downs and pop him, kick him inside on pass downs, and that's we think he's got an elite trait to rush the passer on the inside. And combination between him, Jeffrey, John Franklin Myers, I mean, it's a pretty lethal combination between the three of them, and we'll find different ways to get them all on the field.
Robert, Paul Kuharski, PK.com. You guys have obviously brought in a lot of defensive talent now more on the line, and you've talked about guys that could start outside and go inside in the 60% and all that. Could you talk in more detail? I mean, you've got a lot of guys you could start on the outside and pop inside, but only so many third downs to do that on. How do you sort out the wide 9 in particular? Who's there right now in your head? And even in that 60%, how do you sort out outside to inside when you have so many guys that fit that bill?
No, for sure. That's why Aaron Whitecotton gets paid so much money. But no, in all seriousness, I know the two obvious ones are Jacob Martin and Jermaine, but I think a lot of people are forgetting about Femi. I think he was drafted last year. He's a talented young man. We're going to do our best to try to give him every opportunity to be successful as a wide 9 edge rusher on third down. And we feel really good about the rotation that's being built here. I think Borgo's done a great job collecting a group of men that have different skill sets and have versatility to them. And look, when you guys start watching us, and you'll start seeing what we do third down wise with regards to our alignments and all the different fronts that we'll create to try to create one-on-ones and mismatches. And, so with regards to the complexity of it, it is complex, trying to get all these guys on the field, but it's something that we're very comfortable with, something that we've done in our past, and something we'll continue to do.
Jim Wyatt from TennesseeTitans.com. I guess this is both for Carnell and Keldric. What have the last 24 hours been like for both of you guys, and what's it been like kind of going through this process together?
The last 24 hours, they kind of been a little hectic. Mostly exciting though, just because I get to start a new part of my journey. So it just really been exciting. Came in the building today to get to know some of the great people in this building, and I brought my family down here, so they get to witness it as well. So it's been great.
Yeah, like Keldric said, it's been hectic the past 24 hours. I mean, this is all we ever worked for. We're very appreciative of the Titans organization for believing in us. And then they also wouldn't be without our parents and our family that got us this far. So we appreciate them all, and we appreciate the Titans organization for bringing us in.
This question is for Carnell. It's Cortland Griffin, 3-point conversion. Carnell, your time at Ohio State, you played a myriad of roles. You played outside, inside, XZ, slot. How do you feel like that's prepared you for your role here in Nashville? And then how fun is it going to be for you to learn from a guy like Greg Lewis, who will be your wide receivers coach, and then Calvin Ridley, who will be your wily veteran?
Playing different roles in the offense to just allow me to thrive and also just allow me to understand the concepts. That way, if any guy goes down, I can move and go to different positions. So that just shows how versatile I am. And then also, like, with these guys up here, if they put me in a position to go in the slot, I'm ready for it. I've seen that look.
Junior Cooper, WSMB4. This is for Carnell. You got to meet Cam today in person.
Yes.
I mean, what was that interaction like, and what stood out the most about him?
It was a fun interaction. Cam's a great guy, elite talent, elite quarterback, great guy. I grew up watching him. I watched him at Washington State. So we can't wait to get out there and light it up together.
Mike Patton with touring the AFC South. I want to ask both of you, have you had a chance to check out just the offense and defense that you're both joining? And what's the immediate things that stood out to you as to where you would fit in and what you could be able to contribute?
So I actually just got done watching a few plays today. Wherever the coaches need me to go out there and play, that's what I think I fit in. Whatever they ask for me, I'll give it my all and go out there and do it.
The first thing that popped out to me was that everybody played fast and violent. So, we set edges hard, and we play fast and we play violent. That's the thing that popped out to me the most. I feel like I could play a lot of the positions across the D-line. Like Coach said, on early downs, like first and second on the edge, and having that ability to go inside on third downs is where I see myself for sure.
Carnell, Paul Kuharski, you spoke yesterday briefly about Brian Hartline. Could you give us some more detail and depth about his impact on you, kind of the nitty gritty about how he affected Ohio State receivers and you in particular?
Coach Hartline has done a great job with us, a phenomenal job with all the receivers that came out of Ohio State. Obviously, he from Ohio, grew up Ohio State fan, played Ohio State fan, and also played at the highest level. So all he did was pour his experience into us and then allowed us to thrive and translate to the next level. And he also harped on details. So it's like little things for Coach Hartline that get you at the next level. So he's always big on that and always big on getting better.
Hey, Carnell, Nick Suss with the Tennessean over here. The jump you took from that sophomore year to the junior year to kind of emerge as a first-round talent, what were the things you were emphasizing to take that leap, and how were you able to make that leap over that time?
It was just ultimately a mindset change to go out there. This is the year. This is the year I had set for myself to go out there and ultimately declare for the drive. So just go out there and show everybody who I think I am.
Keldric, this one's for you. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, watching you, a lot of your damage, it came from 5-tech, but you could play up and down the line of scrimmage. At your height, 6'6", like what is it that allows you to be able to excel on the outside as well as on the inside? And Coach Sala, what are your thoughts on his versatility and how you'll be able to deploy him?
Really just my length. My length is giving me the ability to just go down there and hold my own in the inside. Set edges when I'm on the edge, and then it's just the power that I bring behind it. So my length and power just help me do both of them really well.
Yeah, the other part too, and he didn't mention, is his short area quickness and his foot speed is really, really good for a man his size, which is why kicking inside, when you bring that combination of power, length, and then the foot speed and short area quickness, that's a really, really, really tough down for a guard, and which is why we think he can win in there more consistently if we can get him going on reps.
Hi, Keldric, Easton Freeze, A to Z Sports. You mentioned yesterday that you felt like you had just kind of scratched the surface about what you're capable of doing in the NFL. Can you elaborate on some of the things you think you can do better in this league?
Yeah, like one of the things was rush the passer better. I had too many pressures and not enough sacks. Too many times where I got to the quarterback and didn't finish that play. So it's like I said, it's just so much room that I have in that. It's a small thing, but it's a huge thing in my mind. Like that's the next 10 to 20% that I need to get, and from there it's just defining everything that I already have and making sure that I perfect them. It's going to take some time, but I'm perfecting myself, yeah, for sure.
This is both for Carnell and Keldric again. I guess at what point did the NFL become a dream for both of you guys, and how did you make it here today?
It became a dream my 8th grade year. That's when I made the transition to receiver fully on, and then from there, I fell in love with the game, and I knew I could have fun, go on and do great things with it. So that's when I fell in love with it and had dreams of playing in the NFL.
Okay, that is a little bit of the press conference earlier today involving the two newest Titans, Carnell Lake from The Ohio State University.
Lake?
And Keldric, what did I just call? Did I call him Lake?
Carnell Lake.
There was a Carnell Lake, wasn't there?
I'm sure there was somewhere.
Yeah, I've made one up from somewhere. Anyway, Mr. Tate, my apologies to you. To Mr. Lake, I don't know who you are, but I just made up a new name. And Keldric Faulk from Auburn University. So after the break, Watson Brown will join us. We will kind of break down a weird night involving the Titans. It might be good. It might not be good. Either way, it was a surprise on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Baseball is just like music. You don't believe me? Let me show you. It's jazz, improvised and unpredictable. It's rock. The crowd explodes like a guitar through a wall of amps. It's rap, fast, sharp, all rhythm and timing. It's country, nothing but 3 outs and the truth. Do you believe me now? Look, no matter what music you're into, the hottest track in town, Nashville Sounds Baseball. Welcome to Hit City.
Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Nashville, get ready to make history. On April the 19th at Geodis Park, the Guinness Music City Rugby Showdown brings the first ever Major League Rugby match to Tennessee. It's a powerhouse showdown. The Chicago Hounds take on the 3-time champions, the New England Free Jacks, in a clash you don't want to miss. Feel the intensity, hear the hits, experience the speed, the rivalry, and the electric atmosphere of pro rugby live in Music City. One match, history in the making. Be there April the 19th at Geodis Park and get your tickets now at chicagohounds.com. You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We are back on this Friday afternoon from Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall, where a lot of folks will be here tonight for round 2 of the NFL draft. They'll have the NBA and NHL playoff games going on as well. Back to the business at hand, discussing the Titans' first 2 draft picks with Coach Watson Brown, who joins us by phone from Cookeville. Watson, hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well, George. Hope you are too.
I am. So last night over here, there was not one person that picked Carnell Tate in our contest of pick the first player the Titans will draft. So it's caught everybody by surprise. Apparently, it caught Carnell Tate by surprise. What's your reaction to it?
Well, to me, it kind of makes sense. I think maybe they were going to take Love and didn't get a chance to. We probably will never know that. But I think they needed receiver. They needed a rusher. And what I think they thought is there's going to be some rushers left that we really like later in the first round. We're worried about the top 3 or 4 receivers might be gone, which they probably would have been. And I'm going to bet you that's why they took him is they went that pecking order just because they thought they could get a rusher later on in the first round, which they were worried if they could get one of the top 4, maybe 5 receivers that they wanted. Isn't it interesting that a guy gets picked 4th in the draft, and I think he is a very good player, but gets picked 4th in the draft, and he wasn't the go-to receiver on the team. He wasn't the number 1 receiver at Ohio State. The big kid, what's his name, Smith, the young one?
Yeah.
The bigger one that they went to, he was the number 1 guy. Now, they threw it to quite a few different guys. But honestly, he wasn't, in my opinion, thought of as the go-to guy at that one critical moment. And that doesn't mean anything. But it's interesting. I bet we could go back in the draft for many years. You wouldn't find that happening.
So, Watson, you've seen him. How good do you think he is? And project for me what you think he can be as a Titan.
I think he's an outside guy, 100%. The one that was taken right behind him, what's his name, from Arizona State, he was more of he's a little bit smaller. He's more of a play all the positions guy. He can play inside, he can play outside. I think Carnell Tate will be more of an outside guy. I think he's very good on deep balls. He's a good 50-50 guy. When I've watched him, he's got good leaps. He times balls well. He's got very good hands. He's not just a burner now, but he's not slow. But I think he'll be a very good player. I said yesterday, I think there's 4, 5, 6 really good receivers that I didn't think there was a ton of difference in. But most of those that I really liked went in that first round. So I think they just picked the one they thought was best for what they were looking for, and went with it. And I do think they took him instead of an edge rusher, one of those edges, because they were worried that they wouldn't get one of the better receivers late in the first round.
So now you're sitting there in theory, and I realize this is just in theory with this guy, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Ridley as your top 3. What level of good do you think that is?
Just solid. I don't really see just a complete go-to guy in that bunch, but not everybody has one. I think it's a solid core. He might end up being the best one of the bunch in time. Tate may be in time. I guess he's supposed to be if you take him that high in the draft. But I think it's a solid core, George. I don't think it's in the top 10 or anything in the league by any means. I just think it's a middle of the pack, solid group.
So to take that a little bit farther, DK really made a name for himself as a kick returner. And so whatever he does as a wide receiver may be a little bit of gravy. And then you've got Isle Manor, the kid from out on the West Coast. Do you see either of those two supplanting one of the 3 we've already mentioned?
I just don't. I can't say yet. I just hadn't seen enough. Neither one of those guys have played a ton. BK, I thought he made big plays. Some when he was in there, a little inconsistent in route running and all that. Looked a little bit confused at times, but you would expect that a little bit. But I can't say, George. I just think again that whole group is solid. Normally, you're gonna carry about 5 of those guys on your roster every week, and they may have their group right there. It's a young bunch, other than Ridley, and Ridley's been so inconsistent, just a big play, and then just looks like he does something kind of off the rails here and there, and then he'll disappear a little bit with injury, and he's just been so inconsistent. If one needs to step up to the plate, it's him, in my opinion, because he's one of the older ones, been around the league. It's do or die. I mean, he needs to step up to the plate and be a really, really good player this year.
So the second pick, Keldric Faulk, clearly they had him really targeted because there's a lot of swapping of draft picks to go out and get him. So when it happens, the first thing I hear out of the talking heads is, yep, he's got the body, he's got the potential, and he really hadn't produced. And I guess I'm asking myself, why do you take that gamble given how badly you need to hit on people in this franchise? Why do you take that gamble?
That's a good question. I just have said to you, I said it yesterday on the air with you. They get into height, weight, foot speed so much, and this kid has all that. I think they've liked him from day one. They've had him targeted. They knew they could get him. I don't think they thought he'd go in the first round to anybody else. And I think they knew they could get him, and they must really like him. I mean, really like him to pass up on those two. One edge, Bailey was gone before they couldn't get him. So they must really, really like him, George. We've done that before with the Titans. If you remember an offensive tackle from Georgia, they did the exact same thing a few years back, and he never panned out. And I can't remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Isaiah Wilson?
Big, pretty, yes, big, pretty kid, and did not play great in college, but potential was unbelievable, and it never came through. Let's hope and pray this doesn't happen to us again.
So what do you see in this kid? I mean, he talks about it in the press conference that he gets very close, but he never gets the sack. What do you see in him?
I see exactly what we're talking about, what you just said. I see height, weight, foot speed. He's pretty, he's quick, he's athletic, but he just hasn't been a first rounder in college. He has not played to that standard to me. A very good SEC football player, but I don't know that he's first, and he was late first. So but again, I think they targeted him, and that's why they went ahead and took a receiver. I would like to know and listen to what, if they said today, I haven't read anything yet, why they took Tate and why he was picked out of that pile of 4 or 5 that, to me, I said it yesterday on the air, I said, these guys to me are all about alike. They're all very good football players, all these receivers. And it's a good receiver year, and you're going to get a good one even later in the first round. And people did. I just would like to know what it was with him to pick as the one out of the group, which was all of them are good players.
Watson, I want to ask you one more thing, and I'm going to play general manager here for a minute, which is dangerous, although you'll be thrilled to know that after you left us yesterday, I let the world know that Ty Simpson was going to get drafted by the Rams.
What was your little connection, honey?
Well, there really wasn't, other than I read that McVay loved him. And so I just sort of put that out there. And the two of them poo-pooed it. You know,
I said,
do you
well,
think
and
I
I,
care?
I thought he'd go.
I mean, do you think I care what either one of them think?
No.
I will say, George was right. I'm not going to take that away from him. George was right. But McVay did not look too happy yesterday after Simpson was picked.
You don't know. He may have had gas. I mean,
I'm not very happy when I have gas.
So what's here
through the years now? He's got a snarly look to him.
Yes, he does.
In ball games the same way. So I don't know about that.
So I want to ask you this last thing. I'm going to play GM. So, okay, Arizona takes Jeremiah Love. Good for them. On their roster is a really good running back named James Conner. He's better than anything the Titans have. I'm assuming he's telling their front office, get me the hell out of here. I'm not going to be his caddy. Isn't this the perfect match to go get somebody for pennies on the dollar?
Yeah, and I think they will. Let's watch and see. I think they're going to go after a running back. And they may like one in the second or third round somewhere in there. But I think they may go after one in the league and just make a trade to get one. I don't know what's left out there as free agents. But I'm with you on that, and I really like him. And he is a lot like Love in that he can do it all. He's another one of those that can do it all. The one thing that was interesting to me by Arizona, to me, you want a really good offensive line in place if you're going to take a top running back, a guy in the first round, early first round like that. And they don't have that. They are not in great shape in the offensive line from everything I've read. And that's interesting to me that you would bring. It's a difference in bringing in a receiver or something like that. But a running back that's going to get popped. And I do think everybody can get hurt in the NFL, but I do think there's positions to get hurt more than other positions. And running back is one of those that does. And I just worry that do they have the offensive line that this kid's going to need to jump in the league and be a really good player, being the third guy picked in the draft.
All right, Watson, I have 3 really hard-hitting questions for you. For Carnell Tate, I watched, I've been following Carnell Tate, since he was in high school because he was one of the top recruits for Tennessee. And he actually, Tennessee and Ohio State were his top 2 his senior year of high school. I watched Carnell Tate, and I think to myself, he's a low-end wide receiver 1, very, very good wide receiver 2. I think T. Higgins, I think Devontae Smith. I like Carnell Tate. I would have been fine drafting him anywhere between the 10 to 12 range. At 4, it seems like a reach, and I share the same sentiment as a lot of other Titans fans. But if you're going to be the 4th overall pick, I told this to George, I'm going to need a 1,300-yard season from you at some point in the next 3 seasons. Is that fair?
Oh, very much so fair. I mean, if he doesn't do that, we've done it again. I mean, no, you go take a receiver at that spot. He's bona fide. He is going to be your franchise in time. That's high. That is really, really high. And that's why I said a minute ago, I'd love to hear the reasons. What was it about him over the other guys? That's what I would really like to know. I think he's a very good player. Is he the 4th best player in the draft? I don't know that you really can look at it that way because everybody has needs. And they needed to take one. I go back to saying the same thing. I think they took the receiver position first because they knew by their 30th pick they were going to be able to take this Auburn kid that they really liked. And so I think that's why they went that way over the edge rusher. We'll see if it works out.
And I think I would have preferred, hindsight's always 20/20. I think as of right now, I would have preferred maybe an Arvell Reese, Denzel Boston combination over, or even Omar Cooper over this Keldric Faulk, Carnell Tate combination. I did want to ask about the Auburn edge rusher, because he said something in the press conference we just listened to a couple minutes ago before you came on that really it wasn't a red flag, but it made me perk up in my seat a little bit. He said that he didn't really start following the sport of football until about 2 to 3 years ago. And I'm just speaking from personal experience because that's all I have to go on. But I remember when I was in college, and obviously you can't watch all the games, when you're playing and you have film study and you have practice and things like that. But when I wasn't studying film or when I wasn't playing, I couldn't get enough of the stuff. I'd watch all the games that I could. And for Keldric Faulk, it wasn't the same way. Does that raise any concerns for you about his love for the game?
Boy, I don't know that it raises a concern, but that's weird. I don't know what that has to do with his competitiveness and his toughness and all of that. I don't know. But to say you really hadn't followed college football for the last few years, that is amazing. Because most of these kids that I've coached through the years, they live, eat, and breathe football. I mean, in high school all the way up, they had one goal: become a NFL player, not just a college scholarship player, but an NFL player, and they work at it really hard. And he may do all that, but that is a weird statement. You don't hear that very often.
And I was listening to Saleh explain how he was going to deploy Faulk because George brought it up. His production went down. He had 7 sacks 2 seasons ago, and then he had 2 sacks last year. He has 10 sacks total over a 3-year span. The production's not there. He'd get close to the quarterback, but couldn't necessarily get him on the ground. And he made the comment, Faulk himself did, how he was better defending the run than he was getting after the passer. So Saleh, being this defensive guru that he is, said that he's going to deploy him as a wide 9, wide set edge on run downs and then kick him inside on passing downs. I like that. Do you like that?
Absolutely. What was the player that left us? Was it Buckner? Which is the one that left us last year and went somewhere?
You talking about Bud Dupree?
No, not Dupree. It was
this last year?
It was 2 years ago, and then he wasn't with us last year. And that's exactly what Vrabel and they did with him last year, 2 years ago, is he was an edge ball player on early downs, and they moved him inside. He was a big kid, George, 6'6", 6'7". We lost him free agents.
Sweat?
No, he's not that big.
Danico Autry.
He was a Colt before we got him.
Yeah, Danico Autry. That's who you're thinking of.
Yes, that's exactly who it is, and that's exactly what they did with him. He played the 9 technique on early downs, and they moved him inside on latter downs. Now, that makes a lot of sense to me, and that makes a whole lot of sense because I'm telling you, an edge rusher, a good edge rusher, barely don't get there. A great edge rusher gets there. I don't care what league you're playing in. There's a difference in good and great. And great ones sack quarterbacks, and good ones just barely miss. And so there you go. That's the way I feel about that. But that makes a lot of sense to me, what Coach Saleh is saying there.
Okay, Watson, give me 30, 45 seconds. What do you expect now?
It's going to be interesting to watch because they got quite a few picks left, right?
Yep.
Not on tonight.
Not tonight.
They have
all of them tomorrow.
One in the third round. It's pick 69.
Yeah, they've got some big picks left, and your team is made on picks basically from third round on to me. First and second, okay, but from then on, you see really did they hit on the right guys, and did they fit the things they need? And so I'm really anxious to see what they do. Guys, this team should be a lot better this year, George. It should be a lot better. They've got money. They've had money to spend, and they had draft choices. This team should be a lot better next year.
I'm with you. I got to run. Really appreciate what you've done for us. the last 2 days. Thank you.
Glad to do it, man. Love to be on with y'all. See ya.
That's Coach Watson Brown joining us from Cookeville. When we come back for hour number 2, stat of the day, and then a report from Terry McCormick on the George Plaster Show.
Smashville lives here. Here's a shot, he scores! Steal behind the net, a one-timer! Preds score! Your home for Preds hockey is 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Laundry piling up? Make it easier with the latest washers and dryers from Electronic Express. We carry top brands like LG, Samsung, Speed Queen, Whirlpool, and GE. So whether you need an all-in-one unit, stacked unit, front load, or top load, we've got that. With free delivery, guaranteed lowest prices, and up to 24 months free financing, upgrading your laundry room has never been easier. Find your perfect setup in-store or online, only at Electronic Express. We've got that.
It's Family Leisure Spring Sale. Pools, spas, and patio furniture are all on sale.
Because it is officially spring.
24-foot pools are only $29.99 installed.
I really want a spa.
40 different spas on display at each location. Now featuring the ultra-premium Sundance Spas.
Now we're talking.
Family Leisure has patio furniture on sale. Hundreds of sets to choose from with free delivery.
All the pool chemicals and accessories are on sale as well.
It's Family Leisure Spring Sale going on now at both huge locations, Antioch and Franklin.
Wow, your backyard looks completely different. I know. Green Ventures Landscaping did it. Seriously? This used to be all dirt and trees. Exactly. Nick and the crew from Green Ventures Landscaping came in, designed everything, put in the patio, the lighting, the plants. Now we actually use the backyard. It looks like something out of a magazine. I know. They made the whole process easy, too. Great communication, great crew.
If your yard feels more like wasted space than a place to enjoy, call Green Ventures Landscaping. Design, build, maintain. Green Ventures Landscaping.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Popes here on a Friday, working our way through temperatures in the low 60s. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms take us into the late morning hours and toward the afternoon. Many dry hours, but pockets of rain can be expected with a high of 84.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Nashville, it's back. Cromwell Media, alongside Fox 17, brings you the 5th annual 615 Open, presented by Gary Force Acura and Atmos Energy. May 28th at Hermitage. Golf with purpose, supporting Folds of Honor. Register now at 615open.com.
I'm Emmett Smith. Opioid poisonings cause the most accidental deaths in the U.S., and I've lost loved ones. But now I'm prepared to save a life. Just remember, lay, spray, stay. Lay the person on their back, use Narcan nasal spray, dial 911, and stay with the person till help arrives. Continue to administer additional doses as needed. And opioid poisoning can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Always be ready to rescue. Learn more at readytorescue.com.
You enjoy the thrill of gambling, but what happens when it becomes a problem? Whether you want to cut back or quit gambling altogether, the Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling for over 2 decades. We're here to help, not to judge. The Gambling Clinic is a Tennessee-based clinic offering in-person and telehealth support to help people win back their life. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Brought to you by the Gambling Clinic, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
In case you missed Next Man Up.
Why couldn't this have been an April Fool's joke?
Look, I don't have a problem with it.
No, but it's just, if he makes the roster, one bad Cam Ward game, we're going to get calls and texts.
Well, they'll
Hooker in.
They'll be stupid calls.
But yeah, I guess we get plenty of those anyway.
Next Man Up with Jake Lyman. Weekday mornings at 9. Your sports live here on 102.5 The Game.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Time for our stat of the day, brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. What city has hosted the most NFL drafts?
Well, You know, it'd be easy to say New York, but I think the answer might be Philadelphia because former commissioner from way, way back, Bert Bell, was a Philly guy. And I think back before anybody paid any attention, I bet it's Philadelphia.
New York
Wow,
City, 57
I
times.
I got fooled on that then. That's too
How
bad.
many times has Chicago hosted? Chicago's hosted a good amount, right?
Not that I'm aware of. If you can, since I just let my phone get charged, send Terry a message.
Will do.
We're trying to get a hold of Terry McCormick, Titan Insider and MainStreetMedia.com, to talk a little bit about what he expects next. Tonight, help me. Tonight, no picks? One pick?
One pick, round 3, pick 69.
And then a bunch tomorrow.
6 picks tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
And again, Chicago is hosted 10.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. Did not know that. Nashville has hosted 1 and outdrew them all until last night.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh had a big old crowd.
300,000?
Yeah. Those of you who watched tonight, one of the things you'll notice is Pittsburgh, the way they have their entire physical plant set up. The football stadium and where the Pirates play, PNC Park, are within walking distance of each other. I've done it on several occasions in the past. It's a beautiful area of Pittsburgh. Man, they turned out in great numbers last night. And I know the NFL had to be excited. That's really, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think Detroit set a new record before that, and then it was Pittsburgh. So it's good to see. I love George. I know it was kind of annoying for the people watching, but when Pittsburgh came up to pick and they started singing Renegade and they were waving the terrible towels, I loved that stuff. I thought it was really cool. I thought they did a great job.
Yeah.
Too many commercials, though. I will say that.
Well, they got a lot of product to sell.
Yeah.
So as for, look, admittedly, I may be being unfair as to where I am in all this. Carnell Tate, by the way, we got we got the answer, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. Carnell Lake, who I called him earlier in the show, was a defensive back with the Steelers back in the 90s. And as it says here on this screen, he was a member of the 90s NFL All-Decade team. So if I mispronounced Carnell Tate, for Carnell Lake, not a bad comparison.
Not a bad comparison.
If you're going to screw it up, at least screw it up with somebody
At least
good.
make sure he's a member of the All-Decade team.
Yeah, so here's where I think I'm coming from. First of all, do I have more confidence in Mike Borgonzi than I did the previous regime? Heck yeah. I mean, how could you not? So that's a given on the front end. However, he knows the history. He sees that the Titans have really had some stretches in the first round that have absolutely backfired. Because if you can't hit on your first round picks, what are you going to hit on? You know, I've made the joke that my grandmother could have stepped up over the last 10 years and done as well as they have. They have been that bad. From rounds 3 through 7, they've been virtually a disaster. So I guess there's a part of me saying, okay, based on history, why would he go there with Keldric Faulk unless he's absolutely convinced he's the second coming defensively?
Well, that's why you do all the film study. They had conviction that I heard that they weren't going to sit on their hands and wait because they didn't think he'd be around by the time they picked at 35. And to be honest, don't you kind of trust Saleh to be able to develop a guy like that?
I don't trust anybody over there. And that's part of the problem, is that as a fan base, we don't have a lot of trust in them.
Fair enough.
And that's not all their fault. Sala just got here. Borgonzi's been here a year. His first draft was way better than anything that had been tallied in the last 5. I'm told Terry McCormick is here. So let's bring him up. Terry, I think the whole city that's paying attention to this is a little confused. Give me some thoughts.
Well, I think a lot of people, looked at Carnell Tate going at number 4 and wondered, kind of why the Titans were doing that. But I think you're talking about, and one of the things that they said today when they introduced Tate and Keldric Faulk was that, one of the priorities here is they've got to find some weapons for Cam Ward, because this offense has been about as exciting as glacial movement the last couple of years, and they've got to do something to remedy that. And I think they feel like Carnell Tate is a guy who can make some plays and move the needle and, maybe be a number 1 receiver down the line.
Okay, the Faulk thing to me is a little bit of a mystery, because clearly they've had him targeted or they wouldn't have done all the things they did to get him. But the first thing out of the block, I hear the TV guys saying, yeah, he's got all the physical stuff, but he really hadn't produced. Why do you take that gamble?
Well, I think it's a situation where he wasn't on a very good team last year. Auburn kind of, sunk to the bottom of the SEC. I think, they were, kind of down, and he was a guy that, maybe didn't exactly thrive in a situation that wasn't very good. But I think Sala looked at him, and I think he feels like that he is a fit for what he wants to do defensively. He compared him to, he's been compared both by Borgonzi and Sala kind of to a guy that Sala coached in San Francisco, Eric Armstead, kind of long and lean, and they feel like that the talent is there. It's just a matter of him maturing and getting the right coaching in order to get him to play up to his potential.
Were they going Jeremiah Love?
They're never going to say if they were, but I'm guessing he was high on their list if if he'd been there. But that situation was obviously taken out of their hands, so they're never going to tell you that that was the pick. But I think it certainly looks like that they had intentions of going offense at number 4. So you can draw your own conclusions from that, George.
I asked the question earlier. Now Arizona's got a running back that I would assume is furious, and a really good one in James Conner. If you're a GM, don't you check in on that and see if you can get him for pennies on the dollar?
Maybe I check on Algier, who's the guy that they had added in free agency, who had been a backup with the Falcons behind Bijan Robinson. So, the Cardinals do kind of have a surplus at running back. So if you want to add a body, yeah. But, I mean, this is a team that right now in the Titans, they need draft capital. They need to build a young nucleus. So I don't know how much they'd be willing to give away in terms of more draft picks, even though they're mostly day 3 picks. They only have 1 tonight scheduled unless they make some sort of trade back in.
Okay, so clearly all that line of bull that got thrown out a year and a half ago by Chad Brinker about we're going to stockpile all these draft picks, that Borgonzi shot that away with this Keldric Faulk thing. So now what do they do tonight?
Well, I think what you do is you kind of target, a few positions and a few players that you think are going to be available at number 69. It's going to be very difficult without starting to delve into some of next year's draft capital, because, nobody's going to take a late 5th or early 6th round pick, and let you move up from, round 5 back into round 3 or even round 2 for sure. So unless they do that, or they package, Will Levis some way or other with another couple of picks, I don't know that they're going to be able to get more than just the one pick they've got tonight. So I think, the thing with Faulk is I think they felt like he was a guy that they really wanted to go get and didn't want to lose out on, and so they felt like it was worth the risk. Now, they still have the same number of picks. It was a 3-for-3 swap. It's just that now, other than number 69, their pick, the third pick that they have, went from 101 to 165. So it fell 64 spots.
Terry, we will keep our fingers crossed. In the past, these third round and back down lower have been completely useless. Borgonzi's a different, regime. We'll hope for the best, and we'll talk again on Monday.
All right. Sounds good, George. See you.
Terry, thank you. Terry McCormick, Main Street Media, and Titans Insider. Wow. What's the kid from Arizona State?
Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
Are you just mix matching names today?
I'm doing it a bunch. Anyway, look, let me say this. The two they picked may really be good. It's just a little surprising, a little confusing where they went and why they went. After the break, Mitch Light from The Athletic will join us. We got college baseball on our mind. A big series here this weekend. The nationally ranked Texas Longhorns are at Hawkins Field. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Celebrity Bowling Night.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, you probably can tell if you're watching. We're at Sports and Social. Green Hills Mall, where tonight a lot of people will be gathered for round 2 of the NFL draft, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. Go Atlanta Hawks. How about them? They're looking good. People better beware. Mitch Light from The Athletic joining us. Really appreciate Mitch kind of shifting into the 4 o'clock hour today so we could get into some NFL draft talk. Do you pay much attention to it?
Yes, I have to work tonight for the NFL draft. I worked late last night. I'm a college editor at The Athletic, but the draft is such a beast. It's basically all hands on deck. So I help out with some of the NFL coverage, editing some stories and stuff like that. So yeah, I used to be a huge draft guy. Would watch, when it was on Saturday, would watch all day, and then obviously it was Friday, and it gets to be a bit much, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I actually enjoy the Saturday a lot because I follow college football so closely, so I know all the guys being taken there. But I enjoy the draft. It's always fun.
What do you think's the secret toward the end of the draft? Some organizations hit on a bunch of them. The Titans hit on none of them over about a 10-year period. What do you think's the deciding factor there?
That's a great question. I don't think anyone knows. It's if people knew, I guess you could say if people knew they'd do better, but some teams do better. It's sort of like recruiting. It's like, everyone can identify the top 100 guys, the 5 stars. How do you get those guys ranked in the 3 stars in the 600 range or the 700 range and get them to perform there? So I think a lot of it is fit. You could take one guy drafted by one organization, he might be a good fit there, but he goes to a different organization and for whatever reason he clashes with his position coach and washes out of the league. So that's what makes the draft fun, because if it was easy and everyone could just pick, who knew who the best players were, then it wouldn't be fun.
They'd all do it.
Exactly.
So help me with this. We're gonna see one of the nation's best teams tonight in the Texas Longhorns. They're in town to play Vandy. They're one that could end up in Omaha at the end of the year. What makes them so good?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they were not in Omaha. And this is the first time Vanderbilt and Texas have played quite a bit over the years. They played in Omaha. They've played in those early season tournaments when they were in the Big 12. First time they've been in Nashville since 1907, which was wild. They can really pitch it. They've got a very good frontline pitching staff. Dylan Volantis last year was maybe the best freshman pitcher in the country. He was their closer. He's starting now in Ruger Riojas and Luke Harrison. They've got 3 premium starters, which makes them difficult to beat in the postseason. They've got some amazing young relievers. This guy, Sam Cozart, George, true freshman, 34 innings pitched, 12 hits allowed. 34, 12 hits, 49 strikeouts, and they've got 2 really big transfers that kind of lead their lineup. Aiden Robbins is a center fielder, transfer from Seton Hall. He's provided a lot of power. And then Carson Tenney's a catcher who's done a really nice job there. But it's interesting. They've been very good, obviously. They've pitched. They have not been great away from home. I think they're 6-6 in the SEC. But last week at home in 3 games against Alabama, they gave up 5 runs. So good news for Vanderbilt is that it's in Nashville, not in Austin. And as Arya Gerson pointed out last couple of days on Twitter, they have 2 lefty starters, and Vanderbilt's actually done a pretty good job against lefties this year. I haven't faced a lot of them. So, a huge series for all the obvious reasons for Vanderbilt.
So most of the polls have Vandy in that first 4 out category. You think that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do a bracket every week, so I would defer to those guys. It's very interesting, though, because I think that the college baseball committee leans on the RPI heavily. They've been criticized for leaning on it too heavily. There are other factors involved. There's something called the DSR power rating and the KPI that will factor in. Vanderbilt's RPI is obviously what's holding it back right now, 72. But we spoke last week, George. It was like in the 90s before that series went. Their conference record at 9-9 is good, no problem. If you're at 500 in the SEC, you're automatically always in. So if you follow that stuff, the people who do those brackets, they always point out Vanderbilt could be one of the more fascinating case studies in years if they're 16-14, but the RPI is in the 50s. So this is just a cliched answer, but they just need to win games and they need to take it out of the committee's hands. If they get over 500 in the league, as we've mentioned, their problem is that pre-conference schedule, which was aggressive. They tried to schedule hard. Too many of those teams just have not been very good, and that's killed Vanderbilt's RPI.
So in college baseball, Vandy's one of the blue bloods. They've got the longest NCAA tournament streak in the country. Do the blue bloods get a little benefit of the doubt?
I think some people would say yes. Nobody really knows. The committee has been criticized in recent years for taking care of its own. There's been some, it worked out 3 straight years where there was a committee member, was the AD at a school on one of the last teams in. Last year, the committee member was the AD at Southeast Louisiana, and they were the first team out. Now, they didn't make it, but by all accounts, no one really had them on the bubble. I don't think it would hurt Vanderbilt, but you can't sit here and say it will definitely help them because you just don't know. And every committee member is made up of different people. It changes every year. And I don't even know who the committee chair is this year. So it's something that Vanderbilt really has not been on the bubble much in the streak. They had 19 straight years. I think one year they went into the SEC tournament with a 12-17 league record, but they made the championship game and got a 3 seed. So I think that's the only time in the 19 years where they weren't even a 2 seed. So, barring a late run, if they get in, it would be as a 3 seed.
Tennessee right now looks like they're pretty firmly in the 3 hole. From here on in, what do you think they have to do to ensure they get in?
Well, they won today. I don't know if you saw that. They moved. Yeah. They played a doubleheader, so they just finished off a run rule. It was really impressive, encouraging start by Keegan Toombs, their sophomore pitcher there. 33 RPI, probably moved up today. 9-11 in the SEC. I think 13-17, they're fine with that RPI. They, if you remember a couple of years ago, I think 3 or 4 SEC teams went into the SEC tournament 13-17. Everyone's like, who's in, who's not? If you lose the first game, are you out? Well, all 4 made them. All 4 made it. Florida was struggling 13-17. They lost the first game to Vanderbilt, and they still made the tournament. So Tennessee's schedule is not, they go to Kentucky, and they got Oklahoma, and they play Texas as well. So it's not an easy schedule. 14-16, absolutely no problem. 13-17 with that RPI, they're probably good.
Okay, last thing from me, and then I'll turn it to Parker. In baseball committee world, does beating South Carolina and Missouri, who are at the bottom of the league, does that mean anything?
It means something, but I brought that up last week. I think too many Vanderbilt fans and too many fans are just saying, get to 15 wins or get to 14 wins. Not all 14-16s or 15-15s are created equal. You can't – would not feel great about Vanderbilt if I'm 14-16 and 5 of those wins were against South Carolina and Missouri. Now, it's a little different. South Carolina is quite a bit better than they were last year. Last year, Missouri and South Carolina were horrible, and those wins really did not mean much. This year, I think both teams are better. South Carolina definitely has better resume, better RPI, and all that. So, yes, they matter, but you cannot just sit there and say, get to this record in be Vanderbilt's next 2 weeks, Texas and Alabama. It would be great if they go 3-3 in those games, and then they could feel a little bit better going to the stretch. But it's a good question, and nobody really knows. They play Missouri on the road. Road games definitely count for something. So that's going to be a storyline to follow because they do play those 2 teams in the final 2 weeks of the season.
God, who would have ever thought, Parker, we'd be saying this about South Carolina? This is a school that's won national titles.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was confused by the Paul Maneri hire, but that's gone now.
I think he was confused by the Paul Maneri hire too. That was a problem.
That is a problem.
So Tennessee did win. You just mentioned that their first game of the doubleheader versus Alabama today, but last night, starting pitching has been good for Tennessee really all year, but last night they just got absolutely pantsed. Landon Mack and Cam Appenzeller combined for 5 2/3 innings pitched, and they gave up, 9 runs, hit a couple of batters, didn't have as many strikeouts. What happened last night?
Yeah, and the alarming thing, and now, this is why baseball is such a great sport. It's like I was talking to people last night. Tennessee gets pounded last night. Cam Appenzeller has been their best reliever, lights out. And it's like when you lose Friday night, or it's Thursday night, but for the first game of the series, and you exhaust your best relief pitcher, you're like, oh no, we're in a world of hurt. So what happens the next day? they throw a complete game or, run rule. So like they didn't use the bullpen. But yeah, that was the alarming thing. I was watching part of the game. I was watching the draft, and then I was looking at the line score, and I noticed in one inning, it was like the 7th inning, they give up 3 runs and no hits. So I was like, what happened? So I go to the play-by-play, walk, hit by pitch, walk, walk. I mean, they literally, it was all walks and hit by pitches. And if you guys saw any of the Vanderbilt-Kentucky game series last weekend, Kentucky had an inning like that in game 2, and then Vanderbilt had an inning like that. So it just shows you this is the best league in the country. These are all great teams, probably, teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament. And sometimes they just can't get guys to throw strikes. So I was more alarmed that the bullpen imploded because that had been the problem earlier. And then they kind of righted against Mississippi State. To me, that's going to, for the most part, you're going to get quality starting pitching from Tennessee. It's the bullpen that they need to rely on down the stretch.
I'm fascinated by this trend in baseball because when Mississippi State won the title, however many years ago it was, the next year they were pretty bad. Same thing with Ole Miss. When they won, next year kind of fell off a cliff. Tennessee won a national championship 2 years ago. Last year made the Super Regional. This year, they're not going to host, but they're going to make it in. Vanderbilt got the number 1 national seed last year. They may not make the tournament. LSU won the championship last year. They may not make it either. How has Tennessee, despite their struggles recently, been able to maintain this level of consistency?
Well, they've had a good roster. They've stayed healthy, not making excuses for these other teams. We know that Vanderbilt's had some pitching issues this year. Mississippi State went through Mississippi State fans didn't want to admit it because they didn't like their coach, but they went through an awful 2-year stretch of pitching injuries that really they wouldn't have been national championship good, but what it did was make them from a tournament team to a bad team. And so some of it's just stocking your roster, which Tennessee's does. Some of it's injury luck, and credit coaching staff. Now they've taken slight step back this year. And what year was it after that great year? The 21 team that didn't go to Omaha, that was like one of the better teams ever. That next year was 5. They were 5-10 in the SEC for a while. They looked like they weren't going to make it. So it shows you that with this league, it's so competitive and the rosters are so good and everyone's made the commitment that you can't just, especially LSU this year, you can't just put a roster together, show up and expect to be good. It's just things got to go your way and you got to pitch and all the other cliches. But yeah, it's kind of fascinating that there's been so much turnover at the top in the SEC.
I haven't watched much Oklahoma baseball this year. I know they're really good. Is their strength still their pitching this year?
Yeah, it's their pitching's been inconsistent. The guy who's their number 1 pitcher, Cam Johnson, has been great at times this year. He came to Nashville. We talked about all those walks. He didn't get out of the first inning against Vanderbilt. He walked 8 of the first 9 or hit 8 of the first 9 guys. Their strength is they're kind of like what they say called West Coast baseball or, small ball. They steal a lot of bases. They put pressure on you. They don't hit a lot of home runs. They hit 2 grand slams against Vanderbilt in one game, but that's not really their MO. It's solid pitching. They don't have great frontline pitching. It's solid pitching. They hit for average and they put a lot of pressure on the base pass. Kentucky and Oklahoma are the 2 teams in this league that really put a lot of pressure on the catcher and pitchers to hold people on.
Really going to test your knowledge right here. I hope you came prepared because I was watching. I was like you. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings.
You're not going to fool him.
I know. I just want to see.
Well, here's the thing, guys. If I make something up, you guys wouldn't know the difference.
That is true.
That's well said.
I was at Buffalo Wild Wings last night watching the draft. On a separate screen they had Tennessee and Alabama, so I was keeping up with both. They pull up a graphic on the broadcast that say, okay, here's the top 16 national seeds, the teams that'll host a regional. Kansas was on there. I know Kansas is pretty good. I didn't know they were that good.
Yeah, Dan Fitzgerald's their coach. He is a former LSU assistant, and they made the field last year for the first time in a while, and they've been on a great run. Nebraska's having a good season. They beat Nebraska last week in a midweek game, and they beat them 2 weeks ago in a midweek game. They have got a really good frontline pitcher. Thomas Vogel's his name. He was struggling earlier in the year. He's been better of late. They've just been on a roll. I think they've won like 4 straight Big 12 series. So that one thing that makes college baseball great is the new fan bases that get involved. Like their fans are all in. It's a small park. Like I think they set an attendance record with like 1,600 people at the game against Nebraska. But like if they go to the postseason, we saw it here, George, in 2004, the first time Vanderbilt went, they're going to put in temporary seatings.
Right.
Place is going to go wild that weekend. And that's a good thing about college baseball, and with 16 regionals, introducing it, so to speak, to a new fan base. So, yeah, I don't know if they're going to, they still got some difficult series coming up, but they're definitely in position to host a regional.
Hey, Parker, did that answer sound like
I
did
not fool him. I did not fool him at all. I thought I might get you. Because I'm like, there's no way.
You might have to go to something like St. Mary's.
There's
or
no way.
Cuba or, Guatemala. I mean.
Well, I aim to impress. So someone's impressed by me, it's hard, hard to find. So, but that was a good question though, because they are one of those teams that people are talking about this year that really aren't typically on the radar for college baseball.
That's crazy. Okay. I guess I have one more. So this is just something that I've been thinking about, and you just let me know if this is a dumb question or not.
Is this Hawaii?
Gladly.
If Major League Baseball has a strike next year, do you think that'll help college baseball in terms of viewership for people to get their baseball fixed? Do you think they'll turn to college baseball?
I remember during COVID, I watched Korean baseball at 6 a.m.
So did I.
Because there was nothing on. Does that answer your question?
So did I.
Yeah, I'm half kidding there. I think it will. I think it definitely will. People will be introduced to it more. This is like, we could talk about this next week another time, but as we see more guys get to the major leagues quicker, I think the quote unquote like big major league fans, the snobs maybe who kind of don't get into college baseball, they pay more attention to College World Series now because they know that those guys, for the most, like the stars of the College World Series, are going to be in the majors in a few years. But if that were to happen, I think that would probably be a good thing for college baseball. It definitely would improve the viewership.
Great stuff.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed more than anything.
Look, I don't bring on a bunch of
I know.
This man knows his stuff.
Am I excused, Mr. Plaster?
I think you are. Mitch, I'll see you sometime this weekend over at Hawkins Field. Appreciate it.
I should be there tomorrow night. Got to work tonight. But, have a good weekend, guys.
Take care. Yeah. He's good. He knows his baseball.
I'm going to make it a point to try and fool him next week. I'm going to come with like the craziest question ever.
Polytech
State.
Okay. We're going to go to the break. And I know it's Friday, and I know a lot of you get off work early and you go home early. You lie to your boss. Let's be honest. You're not at work at 2 p.m. I see what the roads look like.
I see you at the golf course. Don't try to lie to me.
By the way, I don't blame you. But here's what I want. I want some red-blooded Americans who have got some opinions on what the Titans did last night. I'll admit, I'll throw my hands up. I'm confused. I don't totally get it. It doesn't mean that they may not be good picks. It just means for the moment, I'm a little confused. I want your opinions. 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. If there's something else on your mind, feel free to get that in there as well. We got a long third segment, got room for a bunch of you on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Are you tired of living with back pain? What would you do if the pain was gone?
At the Dr. Gill Center, we've helped thousands of people over the last 30 years break free from pain and get back to living life. We're committed to your outcomes, and our caring team listens, understands, and offers real solutions to neuropathy, back pain, and joint pain without unnecessary surgery or medication. Choose the clinic that listens. Choose the clinic that cares. Call the Dr. Gill Center today at 615-882-4838.
Let's make your pain-free life a reality.
Baseball is just like music. You don't believe me? Let me show you. It's jazz, improvised, and unpredictable. It's rock. The crowd explodes like a guitar through a wall of amps. It's rap, fast, sharp, all rhythm and timing. It's country, nothing but 3 outs and the truth. Do you believe me now? Look, no matter what music you're into, the hottest track in town, Nashville Sounds Baseball. Welcome to Hit City.
Electric atmosphere. Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. As well as a Hit Tracks machine. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. We're proud to call Hit After Hit the official shirt provider of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, we are back here at Sports and Social. By the way, man, my picture looked a little blurry there.
I'll fix your camera.
Okay,
it
it's
happens
probably
every now
better.
and again.
Blurry. I'm going to give a little weather forecast here. It looks like, and I just went outside to look.
There we go. Look at that, George. That's much clearer.
Isn't that special? The rain that was rumored more like 10 o'clock tonight is right on top of us. They're talking about stuff like, let me pull this up real quickly. 5 o'clock, 55% chance of rain, 30% chance at 7 p.m., and from that point on, all through the evening. So this stuff got here earlier than they thought it was going to. So if you're headed to Hawkins Field, you might want to take something with you. Okay, in the meantime, it looks like I've got some lines open. So if you want to get in pretty quick, we can get to you pretty quick. I need some phone calls. I need red-blooded Americans who have opinions at 615-759-9949. If you call, we'll get to you. I promise.
That's right. We will.
Eric, line 1, welcome.
Hey, George, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Got a couple of things, George. First of all, as far as Vandy, I think certainly this has played a role. I'm hoping that Tim Corbin and the Vandy team is still able to make it to the baseball playoffs, but I definitely think the NIL and the transfer portal has played a part in them not being as good as they normally would be. It's just hard to believe that they've struggled to the level that they have, and maybe hopefully they'll still make it. The other thing concerning Vanderbilt, and I'm assuming you've reported the last day or two I saw where I guess it was Shave Ralph, the Vanderbilt women's coach, has signed an extension. Of course, it's not disclosed. I think I saw something about that. It was either yesterday or Wednesday or something like that. I know it's one that's happened within the last day or two. And George, two other things. I'm going to get to the Titans draft in there, but one other quick thing. I don't know if you heard about this. There were reports, I saw this on YouTube, something like that. Did you know that originally WrestleMania was planned to be here in Nashville at the new stadium, WrestleMania 43, but because of the time when it was scheduled to open and the time they're supposed to do WrestleMania, they said the logistics, it just don't think it was possible. And I think that's the one that's supposed to be in Saudi Arabia. But if everything had lined up for the stadium, we would have had WrestleMania 43 here in Nashville. But I think when it's scheduled to open next year in March, And I think the timing of it was supposed to be, I think WrestleMania was either towards the end of March or sometime in April. They just didn't think they were going to be able to do it. It was just too close for comfort to try and make that happen.
Eric, I'm laughing a little bit mentally because my buddy Butch Spearden, who did such an incredible job running our Convention and Visitors Bureau, he's now retired in Pascagoula, Mississippi. That was an event he always wanted to get here. And I was always convinced, first of all, I never believed that Butch Spearden would ever retire because he's a workaholic, but he did. And I wonder if that put WrestleMania a little bit lower on the pecking order.
Yeah. I mean, they still eventually are planning to do it, but that's a story I saw this week that they wanted to do it next year, but it's just the logistics of timing. When the arena was supposed to open and when it was supposed to actually happen, it was just too close to call, and they just didn't think they could pull it off. George, as far as the Titans, and then I'll get off and let you get some other calls. Two things. Number one, as far as the first thing, I am just convinced ever more that if Jeremiah Love was available, they would have picked him, especially with them now taking Carnell Tate. I was surprised. I really thought they were going to go with either Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles. I even thought they could potentially go with Caleb Downs, but the fact that they picked Carnell Tate, that surprised me. I'm hoping he turns out good. A lot of people think he could be a good, solid receiver, but there's some I've heard they still don't think it's the number one. But we'll see what happens because some saying there were other better receivers, but we'll see what happens. As far as trading the defensive player to get him from Auburn in the first round, there are also some people that I've heard question that because they think the guy could be a project player. I mean, he's got a lot of potential, but again, it's kind of one of those things that we'll see what happens. I wonder if you had heard about some of that stuff behind the scenes about those two positions. George, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. You have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Eric, thank you. You have a good weekend. And let me say, as Eric gets off the line, that leaves one open, and I'd like somebody to jump in and fill that one at 615-759-9949. You call now, we'll get into you. So I guess here's what I'm kind of asking myself. Okay, this team needs to hit on draft choices. Why are you taking gambles? This franchise has been gambling for 3-4 years, and they've gotten it stuck up their rear end every time they've done that. Again, I don't want to question Borgonzi as much as it sounds, because his first draft was way better than anything we'd seen for a while. But it's got me confused.
George, you bring up a good point, and we were talking about this in between the break, how I tend to trust Saleh on the defensive side of the ball just because he was able to. Right, in New York and San Francisco, they never struggled with defense. But due to the PTSD that Titans fans have experienced, there is doubt. And I share the same sentiment with Keldric Faulk. I thought intangibly he has a lot, but I just want to see him get to the quarterback more. And I hope that Saleh will be able to bring that out of him.
Let's go to Steve in Nashville. Steve, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, hope you are doing well.
Hope you are.
Hey, I'm Coach Schmidt's Uber driver, so he wanted me to say he's impressed with your picks lately. He questions where you're getting your picks from. He's not sure you're actually making them, but
you know what? You tell him to behave. Tell him I'll see him on Monday, and I know it's going to come up again. I'm just on a little bit of a hot streak, which scares you because on the flip side, then you get the other.
Yep. Places aren't all bright and lit up for no reason.
Hey, can I ask you one thing before we go where you want to go? As his driver, does he tip you well?
He's generous. He's generous. He lets me control the radio. He makes sure I turn it up, and a few of your callers he turns it down. But no, he's a good man. I'm very fortunate.
He is a very good man. I have loved reconnecting with him.
Yeah, he loved y'all's Monday morning breakfast are his favorite. He looks forward to that more than anything. So, but yeah, I just dropped him off. He got mad at me. I took him home early from work today, but I'm heading to the Hawk for, could be a tough weekend there. So, question, I talking to him all the time, you know, when he coached, they obviously didn't have the resources. And I think he says he'd still only want 19 or 20 players on a roster because, one, you can't play everybody, as you know. You want to make everybody happy. But he claims he never had any arm problems back when he had, you know, 4 or 5 main pitchers. And now you look in every college dugout and somebody has a big cast from Tommy John. And what do you attribute that to? Just over pitching, not pitching enough? What is it?
I've come to the conclusion, and look, I don't know if I'm right or not. I'm no pitching expert, but I see this max effort stuff. You know, Spencer Strider, when he was throwing 99, it just looked like his arm was going to fall off on every pitch. And look, there are a bunch of them out there, and I think these radar guns are the worst thing that was ever going. I look at Greg Maddux. I don't remember any arm trouble. He wasn't throwing 99. I think it's this max effort thing.
Yeah, and he got so sick in last weekend with the Kentucky series. You know, both pitching staffs can't throw a strike, and they get 0-2, and I don't know. I think they're all just trying to be so perfect, or they get limited spots that they're just trying to overdo it where they get more pitching time. And it's hard to watch. The amount of watching Tennessee last night had 3 straight guys they hit, which they have a great pitching staff, but even they had problems. So I don't know. It's a different game.
Oh, it is a different game, and I'm not saying it's a better game. These radar guns, to me, might be the worst thing that ever happened because it's got the scouts fixated. I wonder if Tom Glavine would get signed today.
We're just talking about you. Funny you brought up Maddux. I mean, Maddux in this day and age with the whole challenge of the pitch, if it's a strike or ball, he wouldn't get those corners anymore. Could a pitcher like that be successful? I mean, I miss pitchers like that.
That Eric Gregg game, you think they'd have been challenging pitches?
Just a little bit. Those guys want their arms hitting their helmet constantly, but I miss those days. I mean, those pitchers, he didn't throw. All those Maddux stories are just so awesome. How smart he was, and how he studied the game and knew how to pitch everybody. And you just don't see that much anymore.
Hey, tell your dad I said hello. I'll be there Monday.
I will. I'll see you this weekend. Anchor down, boys.
See ya. So, Parker, he thinks I'm getting aid on these picks because I've been on a streak. I've been on a hot streak that's unprecedented. Do you see anything while we're here that looks to you like, oh, he's talking to Guido?
Do you want me to answer that question?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, Larry Schmittou. He is using a bookie. He's guilty. He's not making these picks by himself.
No, I'm not. That's nuts.
No, it's all by himself, unfortunately.
Frank in Smyrna is up next. Frank, how you doing?
George, good afternoon from about 482 feet from home plate in
Oh, yeah. So are you at the hotel?
Yes, I'm on the pool deck. And I want you to know, sitting about 20 feet from me is Brian Sticker.
Really?
Yeah. You don't know how bad I wanted to ask him, can you go on radio in Nashville, Tennessee with one of my real good friends? I was so close to doing it, but I just couldn't pull the trigger.
Okay.
George.
Do this, though. Tell him that he's got somebody in Nashville who really appreciates what he's done over the last few years.
He and I had a conversation. It was very cordial. He's very, very, very nice man. I talked to him for about 7 or 8 minutes, and I told him this was quite an honor. And I made sure I told him thank you on behalf of everybody in Nashville and Middle Tennessee. And there's a lot of us. They're diehard Atlanta Braves fans.
I know
Thank
Jeff
you.
Francoeur speaks so highly of him, and that's good enough for me. Give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to try and get 3 of you in before the end of the show.
I just wanted to tell you that, George. He could not have been a nicer man. He could not have. He is awesome, very cordial, and he's being inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame tomorrow. And I told him who I was and that I was from the Nashville area and a season ticket holder. He looked at me and said, "Oh wow, you are a diehard." He said,
"Hey, I wish I could be there tomorrow night."
I'm really looking forward to it. The weather forecast in Atlanta tomorrow, but they're it looks like they're having some sort of get together / reception here on the pool deck out here during the game tonight. I've been told Andrew Jones is going to be staying here tonight. So who knows who I may encounter later. But
if you see my friend, tell him I said hello.
I absolutely will. And all I know, the Braves are on a roll. Harris is out of lineup tonight. It's precautionary. They're not terribly concerned from what I've been told. And J.R. Ritchie, wow. How about that performance yesterday?
Great.
Did you see that?
I sure did. Great start.
I do not know if they sit him back down or not. To me, you give up 2 runs, and it's 2 solo home runs to C.J. Abrams and James Wood. Not to discount those guys. They're great players. They're part of the Nationals' future. You know what, though? You deserve another start as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, until he shows you otherwise, I'm with you. I got to run.
All right, George, I'll be in touch. Thanks, guys. Parker, thanks for taking care of the Phillies. We'll see if we keep doing that tonight here in Atlanta.
Hey, the Cubs are on a 9-game win streak, George.
Yeah, I know it. They are to be reckoned with. Chris on line 4. Welcome.
Hi, George. How are you? This is Chris in Hermitage.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while. I'm going to talk National League Baseball also. Your Braves and my Reds, you may remember a wager, and I won that one. But how about your Braves with Ozzy Albies? He's back, it looks like.
Sure does seem that way, doesn't it? And that's helping their offense because they need him back to that level.
And with a start like that, maybe it's for real. And Matt Olson too. He used to be fun to watch. He was here as a Nashville Sound. You'll remember. But, yeah. And last year a little bit subpar for him, but he's off to a good start. So hey, never mind your Braves. Who cares? What about my Reds?
Reds they're cooking with gas.
It seems like maybe Ellie De La Cruz is finally going to turn into Ellie De La Cruz, and maybe he's figuring out he's got power from the right side, and driving in runs. We got the number one. I'm super happy. I've always called him Eugene, and the Reds broadcaster called him Eugenio, and apparently in Arizona and Seattle he was Gino, but Suarez is back, and if we get some home runs out of him.
Look, I'll leave it this way because I want to get one more caller, and I hope you'll call back. In particular, when we have Danny Evans on, you got a Hall of Fame manager in Terry Francona, and as long as he's your manager, you got a shot.
And we got the Rookie of the Year, too. Nothing changes. We got the Rookie of the Year. Thanks, George.
See ya. Let me get one more real quickly. I try to get to all of you. Charlie on line 5. Charlie, where are you calling from?
I am calling from Nashville, George, and 2 quick things because I know you guys are probably short on time. First and foremost, I got to ask you, man, when are we going to get Parker Kelly on the intro? It's been Young Gun, Billy Derrick, and Parker's been around.
I know it.
Now, man.
I know it. I haven't.
Club is wondering.
I have not been able to get with Chuck Morgan to get it recut. I guess I've been more worried about getting everybody paid. That was a good answer.
Parker's earned the stripes, man, so hopefully he'll get it quick. But I also just wanted to say, I know everybody was disappointed about Jeremiah Love, and admittedly, I wanted to get him too. I think he is a special player, but I'm confused on how that's become such a need for the Titans at running back. I mean, we're acting like Tony Pollard is Fred Flintstone in the backfield or something. Man, he was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. I think that you can go and trot him out for one more year, and he'll at least be able to give the Titans something. So I guess I just want to know your thoughts on what feels kind of like a Tony Pollard eraser in a sense, as if he isn't a capable back for this team for another year to start back there. So thank you, guys. Enjoy the show. And Parker, George, keep it up, man. Love y'all.
I don't think it's meant to diss Pollard. I think there's some people that think he's this incredibly special talent. We may find out in Arizona. I'm really into checking in on both Connor and, for that matter, on Algier.
I would love Algier.
Yeah.
That's a thumper.
He
running back
is
right
a
there.
big-time thumper.
Yeah.
Speaking of thumpers, I've been thumping it pretty good lately.
2-0 last night.
Look at that. Let's go Hawks.
When I saw the Hawks win, I immediately thought of you.
I'll
That
tell you
ending
what,
was wild.
They gagged a 17-point lead.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, they're going to lose this. C.J. McCollum was great at the end. So let's see what I got. I got 2 plays tonight. Let's go through them really quick.
All right.
Number 1, no Victor Wembanyama. Portland at home.
This game
plus
in Portland,
2.5. Now, it's a game time decision, so who knows? But if you find out old Victor isn't playing, San Antonio ain't San Antonio without him.
I agree.
And then this one is a book it.
A book it?
A book it. Utah at home. Vegas wants no part of Utah. That crowd will go nuts tonight. 8:30 start time. You watch it. Put your money on Utah.
All
You'll
right.
make some money.
Go Mammoth.
Yeah, we're out of here. All of you have a great weekend. We'll recap the Titans draft on Monday. See you then.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bopez here on a Friday, working our way through temperature.